Hello everyone, it's Dr. Vasquez, your doctor in criminal justice, bringing you another video on criminal justice topics. So I have a story that is disturbing. I have a story that should not happen. This story is coming from Warren, Michigan, where suspect was brought in for processing. The processing officer would slap the suspect, would punch the suspect, would body slam the suspect. He would grab the suspect by the hair and pounce on his head. Finally, he grabbed the suspect by his hair and threw him into the holding cell. Stand by for what comes next. Thank you.
Watch Officer Matthew Rodriguez. You see him get up from a chair during the booking process. He and the prisoner, they exchange words, and then he hits the 19-year-old, slams him up against a wall into the ground. Within 6 seconds, the arresting officers rush in. Commissioner Dwyer says what you see now is their attempt to defuse the situation.
One of the officers reported saying, "That's enough. That's enough."
The assault continues as Rodriguez hits the 19-year-old again before pulling him up by his hair and his shirt and then throwing him into a jail cell.
Nobody, not even a police officer on duty, is above the law.
The two arresting officers report the incident to their supervisor, prompting an immediate internal investigation. Officer Rodriguez was placed on leave 3 hours later. He was formally charged today. Macomb County Prosecutor Pete Lucido.
There's no duty to hit anyone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. So this story happened on June 13, 2023, Tuesday. So about 2 weeks and a day ago, right? And you have two players. You have 48-year-old Matthew Rodriguez, which is the officer. You have Jaquwan Smith, 19 years old. Jaquwan Smith was brought in for carjacking. That's what he was brought in for. So the processing officer for that day was Officer Matthew Rodriguez. You can see he was brought in. He is at the designated location. There's 2 footprints where you stand. They process you, take your pictures, fingerprints, all that sort of thing. Get your information. Make sure they take off your shoes. You don't have nothing in your pockets. They search you again, right? So it's regular processing. Through that interaction, you could see that they start to exchange words with each other, right? There's a video, there's no audio, but you can see something is said, right? The suspect is saying something, the officer is saying something. I would have to say that it's probably not some words that are so nice. And you can see Officer Rodriguez standing by the copier / printer. He cocks back and then he slaps Smith in the face. Smith falls back, and then Officer Rodriguez comes, grabs him by his belt loop, kind of the collar area, if you will, lifts him up about 2 to 3 feet off the floor, and then throws him on the floor, right? That's when he body stabs him. He gets on his back, on his lower back. He has a knee in the lower back. He has his forearm on his hand, on the back of his head, and then he starts to strike him once, twice. By this time, the other officers come in, right? So now he gets right on top of him. He grabs him with both hands by the hair, and he starts to slam his head on the floor. Finally, I guess one of the officers said, "Hey, that's enough. That's enough." Officer Rodriguez gets up, grabs him by the hair, and throws him into the holding cell. All right. All right, everybody. Welcome to this platform. Welcome to this channel. If you are new here, I always have 3 questions, 3 concerns, 3 things that I want to discuss with you. The first question that I have is, if you believe this is the first time Officer Rodriguez has been in a situation like this, let me know what you think down in the comments below. For me, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that this has happened previously. Unfortunately, you know, this was the first time it was probably recorded, it was probably reported, and that is why we are where we are now. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. In the age of social media where everything is being recorded, everything's being reported, I hope and I presume that this would just be the standard going forward, right? My second question that I have for you is, why did the other officers not push Officer Rodriguez off this individual? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. For me personally, I think that they're scared. I also think that it's a style of thinking, right? We need to get out of that style of thinking where, you know, everyone needs to unite and we all stand behind the badge. And no. And after George Floyd, which it should have happened a long time ago, If you see something wrong and you don't say nothing, you're just as guilty, right? Even though they reported it and even though they said, hey, that's enough. No, you had a duty, you had an obligation, you had an oath to get that individual off the suspect. There was no need for it to have escalated and gone that far. All right, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thank you. And my last question that I have for you is, what do you think happened, right? It's really hard to tell from that video what exactly happened. We know something was said. What was said? Not to say that that justifies anything, because it doesn't. But what do you think happened? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. For me, people are emotional and you act off of emotion, right? So something was said to Officer Rodriguez that kind of rattled him up a little bit. Then Officer Rodriguez probably doesn't need to be an officer, right? We have this conversation with my students all the time. What are you going to do if someone disrespects you? What are you going to do if somebody hits you? What are you going to do if somebody spits on you, right? That's when you're really tested as far as your patience, you know, how bad you want to be an officer and so on. So you need to have emotional intelligence to know yourself enough that maybe this might not be the best occupation for me. All right. All right, everybody, it's time for the shameless plug. If you like criminal justice, if you like criminology, if you like material like this, if you like looking at videos, dissecting them, if you like Dr. Vasquez asking you questions, you responding, us having communication back and forth, this is the location for you. We've been at this for over 3 years. We got over 300 videos. I'm pretty sure you're going to like 1 out of 300 videos, right? And we are on YouTube. We are on TikTok. We are on Instagram. We are on Twitter. We are on SoundCloud. We are on Patreon. If you go to Patreon and you subscribe, you'll get these videos before anybody else. All right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.